Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. This is the Sunday debrief, and this is my best, I think, content of the week. Do not go anywhere because we are reviewing all of the Saturday action so far. And what we do on the Sunday debrief, if you've not seen it before, we review that Saturday action in detail, but with all the visual stuff, with the XG plots, the shot maps, the average position and pass maps. I think it's a really cool show, which gives us more of an insight into the footballing tactics of a team, how they're playing, and that hopefully helps with our idea of how we invest. So good to see so many in the live chat. Andy says, I'll stop now, but I just hit the like. Best football show, simple. Shows the facts. We just have to pick the FPL players. Gianni gives us the team flow or not flow. I like that very much, Andy. Thank you. Like, that's exactly what I try and do with this show. I want to present the information from a footballing point of view. Who's getting the minutes? Where on the pitch they're playing? Who's taking the shots? Who's creating the chances? And that hopefully helps with our FPL decisions. Which teams are creating the big chances? Which teams are not creating chances? Stuff like that. We can't always just go on score lines. We need to look at some of the underlying stuff and some of the visual stuff. Good to see so many in the house. Guys, let me know where in the world you are watching and let me flash a few up and then we'll crack on with the info. Paul's in the house. Good to see so many of my channel members. John is there as well. 27 with 13 to play. And that's the thing. Don't worry too much about your red or green arrows this week. With so much football to be played this game week. And most of you lot watching this channel are engaged managers. And engaged managers have loads of doublers. Casual managers, yes, they might have had big hauls from an Mbeumo, but they're not going to get a game two from a lot of their players. By the way, Mbeumo, we're going to talk about him later. He feels like a very, very strong buy. Good to see Jason in and Mackham as well. Going Rashford and Watkins on free hit. Mackham, I made that free hit video for you. I put Watkins, Rashford and Rodgers in my free hit team. And I hope some people listen because, yeah, I was on the fence with it and I edged towards Watkins yes rather than Watkins no. Watkins hit the woodwork twice yesterday. 3 bonus points, goal, assist. He was all over Newcastle, and Aston Villa are definitely a team to be looking at in detail. Guys, good to see so many in the house. Shall we crack on? I wanted to flash up some where in the world you're watching from. We often get some obscure countries and cities, so if we want to do that, we can, but if you'd rather us crack straight on, we can do that too. So the action we're going to be looking at, I said when I moved to Tuscany for 3 months, I'm here in a different location, as you'll see. I was like, I'm going to dim down my videos. I'm not going to do as many videos. I'm taking a bit of a break. And with that in mind, I thought maybe the Sunday debrief would be a video that I just do on selected weeks. The first week I was here, I was like, Saturday action was rubbish. I made a 10-minute members only video. Last weekend, I was like, I really missed it. I really missed going through this show with you guys. And therefore, for the second week on the trot, Sunday debrief is back, and I think it's going to continue because it's too good a show that I enjoy doing anyway. And if I'm going through all the visual stuff on my laptop, I may as well share it with you guys, right? And it's an exercise I do on a weekly basis. So look, let's crack on, shall we? We've got Sydney in the house, South Africa, Cardiff, Netherlands, Kushinov. Yeah, it doesn't sound great, does it? If you haven't heard, a bit of a bust up between him and Pep, which is why he's been dropped. I wish I did go Watkins, Gianni. I took him out last minute. Oh no, Watkins does want his place back. So look, let's crack on. The action yesterday was pretty good. Like a lot of FPL relevant teams, and many would look at Brentford and Brighton and go, "Oh, not too relevant in terms of current team, but in terms of where we're moving our transfers towards, we're all going to buy Mbeumo and Visser and co. I think in game week 35 onwards, Brentford are going to be a big attraction for us for the run-in. They're chasing down European football. Palace, where a lot of us have got triple Palace already. Bournemouth are a team to monitor as well. Could get the double game week in 36. Man City, of course, of high interest. West Ham, Southampton, not so much, but Villa and Newcastle, massive FPL interest in those two teams as well. Guys, most of you are going to be watching on catch-up. Good morning to you all. If you drop a comment, I will get back to you all. You can also hit that like button. That would be awesome. And look, if you want to subscribe to the channel, both watching live and on catch-up, I'd absolutely love your support if you fancy hitting that subscribe button nice and early. Right, let's crack on, shall we? Before I show you game by game, I'm going to just go through some of the XG over and under performance. Now, look away now if you captain Marmoush, because Marmoush was the biggest XG performer of the game week, underperformer of the game week. He clocked 0.63 and blanked. 2-pointer for Marmoush, really disappointing for owners. Couple of big chances, one very well saved by Pickford. Marmoush has to do better in front of goal. He's getting the chances. His conversion hasn't been good the last couple of weeks. We also saw, this is the list of players you don't want to see in your team because you go, I was so close. Rodgers is on this list as well. De Bruyne, Evanilson, Asensio, McGinn, all getting big chances and not converting. This is the list you do want to see. Overperformers. Mbeumo, 2 goals from 0.6 xG. We saw goals from Bowen and Welbeck, Maatson, Watkins, all on this list. This is from the Scout members area, guys. If you're not already on the Scout members area, check it out. It's a go-to guide. Let's go game by game, shall we? Want to start with Everton versus Man City. Now, if you're new to this show, I'm going to bring up comments only from Everton Man City whilst talking about Everton Man City. Then when we move on to a different game, when we talk Aston Villa Newcastle, I'll bring up comments on that. So if you can, guys, streamline your comments because it's a better experience for those on catch up if we just talk Everton Man City when I'm going through the game. So we're going to spend 10 minutes per game, 5 minutes per game. Everton Man City is really interesting for a number of reasons. One, because many are working towards that Man City triple up and many went KDB. I punted KDB in with minutes to go, didn't turn out, and actually Everton put up a really good fight. Look at the XG plot with 10 minutes to go. They kept Man City to under 1 XG with 10, 15 minutes to go. Those goals did cost Guardiola the bonus, yeah, they absolutely did. Man City got flattered with the scoreline. Well, they were good late on, and they probably deserved the win. KDB was close to a goal as well. Marmoush even closer. It wasn't a great City performance, but this really does go to show how good Everton are defensively. Everton, last few weeks, have had really good, tough fixtures, Everton, and they've put up some really impressive defensive performances. A lot of these games for Everton in the last few weeks, they've put up defensive performances where they've conceded just one, but deserved a clean sheet. And again, it was a solid Everton performance. Captain KDB for Mackham, easy could have got some chance. Yeah, and look, let's hope he plays versus Villa. The good news for City is, and for KDB owners, sorry, the way Aston Villa beat Newcastle, Pep's looking at that going, can we afford to go without KDB for Villa on Tuesday night? There's a very good chance. A very good chance he plays. Diaz was brilliant. Yeah, Diaz and Guardiola got a nice partnership going at the moment. In terms of the lineup, I wanted to see Kevin De Bruyne number 9 and Marmoush left. Now, this average position map might suggest that that's what we got. It's not. We saw Savinho playing on the left, Marmoush number 9, and De Bruyne in the 10, with Bernardo on the right, and it didn't really work. I reckon he resorts back to Marmoush left, De Bruyne 9, if De Bruyne starts versus Villa. Now, Marmoush does drift left, regardless of where he's playing, number 9 or left. But De Bruyne wasn't the number 9. Last few weeks, we've seen De Bruyne a little bit more advanced than Marmoush. And it worked big time. We wanted that yesterday, which is part of the reason why we bought him. What we also seen yesterday was Savinho on the left, which doesn't work, guys. Savinho is so much better on the right. And Bernardo Silva was a bit of a waste of an attacker yesterday. Bernardo Silva did very little on the right-hand side. So I reckon Savinho owners will be looking to shift him onto Mbeumo very soon. Doku will start ahead of Savinho, possibly, says Kev against Villa. Absolutely. If he goes for that approach, he could play Marmoush left, De Bruyne number 9. Regardless, the attack is being built around De Bruyne at the minute. And with that in mind, I would hope he's fit enough to play on Tuesday. And of course, the FA Cup semi-final comes on Sunday, so he's got a bit of a rest for that. Doku should have started. Yeah, he just doesn't. He has trust issues with Doku. So the big lesson from yesterday for Man City was it was a slight shift. Marmoush played 9, De Bruyne played 10. We've seen De Bruyne 9 and Marmoush 11 effectively. Savinho on the left just doesn't work. I think we could see Savinho on the right-hand side though. He's been a brilliant player for years, but he's fading fast. I'd agree with that. Let's continue with this game because the shot map's quite interesting. Whilst Man City got another clean sheet and Guardiola owners are happy, they're still conceding quite a few big chances or chances in bad positions. 0.78 XG total for Everton. A lot of this XG came from set pieces. Over half of it, 0.5 XG from set pieces. And again, City can look a bit vulnerable. Brilliant save from Ortega. We still don't know if Ortega or Ederson will be in come Tuesday. We know Ederson's injured, but we don't know how long for. Savinho deserves a home start. And also Gucci. he deserves to start on the right-hand side because that's his best position by some distance. And he's had a really good year, Savino. How are we all? Yeah, very good, Sander. How is everyone in the chat? Morning, Mark, as well. The Guardiola clean sheet is definitely a positive, and he's had a lot of them recently. I'm on wildcard in 34. And I'll put a wildcard out video tomorrow, guys. Guardiola's going to be in it, isn't he? Of course he's going to be in it. Yeah, Tarkowski did hit the woodwork as well. Morning to everyone in the chat. So look, should we move on away from Man City? I feel like Man City, we're looking at top 3 assets, right? It's pretty clear. If you can get to De Bruyne, but number 1 is probably Guardiola or Marmoush. Number 2 is the other one. Number 3 is De Bruyne. Double defense doesn't look bad. The fixtures are good for the run-in, and you could go to Diaz. I just worry with Diaz that Akanji being back fit is just not absolutely nailed. Now, I don't think we see this. Bantam, I think that's wishful thinking. And the reason that is wishful thinking is if Guardiola plays left back, then probably their player of the month, O'Reilly, the kid, who scored again yesterday, can't play. And if O'Reilly can't play, that's a problem for Pep. Pep goes through phases. He did this with Rico Lewis a year ago, where he just got every minute going. Like it was like, oh, Rico Lewis is firmly in the team. I think my daughter's right. Bless her. Maybe she's bumped her head. My wife's with her. You probably hear the crying. Oh, she's asking for daddy. O'Reilly. I think O'Reilly has to start, and therefore Guardiola will be centre back. Let me just go see if she's all right. I'll be back in 1 second, guys. Otherwise, we'll just have a very distracted Janny. I'll mute my mic. I'm back. She's fine. Everyone leave when he's gone. She's fine. She fell off the toilet. She's set up here. The bathroom is teeny. It's also cramped. So yeah, she's hurt her leg quite badly, but she'll be fine. I say bad. Yeah, badly for a 2-year-old. So where were we? Everyone leave when he's gone. You guys. So I left you with the Man City pass map, which hopefully is something nice to look at. Yeah, I think that's where we're at. Appeared late. What have we covered so far? Other than my daughter falling off the toilet. Yeah, something to do. Subscribe and join the chat. I love that, Andy. It's almost like I like went out of the room on purpose. You could say that. It's not true. But guys, yeah, if you want to do that, that'd be amazing. So look, we've gone through just the Man City game. We've also gone through some of the XG over and under performers. And yeah, bad news if you captain Marmoush, because he's top of the XG underperforming players of the game week so far. And as you might expect, over performances from those that got goals, including Mbeumo with 2 from 0.6. We're going to talk Mbeumo in more detail. But look, let's move on to Brentford now, because Mbeumo's on the thumbnail. And Mbeumo is a player I'm absolutely owning in 34 and beyond. He's in my wildcard team and he's not going anywhere. So is Visser, by the way. And what do I call Brentford? Come on. I say this every week. Quiz question. Who's going to put it in the chat first? What do I refer to Brentford as? Let me know in the chat and I'll flash up whoever gets there first. I call them something. Any guesses? So, yeah, you can see here 2.82 XG. And comment on Brentford versus Brighton here would be amazing, guys. Thanks, Mackham. Big chance, Brentford. They find ways. Every game without fail, they will produce big chance, Brentford. Yeah, you guys know. BCB. Come on, look at that. My loyal, you lot are loyal. You watch a lot to know that. I mean, I bang on about every week. Also, Brentford, they're a team that always play on Saturday, pretty much, because they don't have European football. I don't call them the Chuckle Brothers. West London Bitters, big chance Brentford. Mbeumo missed a strike again. And look, Brighton are a team definitely in a bad way at the minute. You can take advantage of Brighton at the moment. They are conceding goals and chances, but Brentford will always produce the big chances. Now, I've watched the extended highlights of all of these games I'm reviewing. I've watched them this morning early. And Brentford, that's just so direct. They go from back to front so quickly. And when you've got players like Mbeumo and Visser going back to front, and Sharda, to be fair, it's a breeze for them. It's a breeze, and they're clinical in front of goal. Now, I'll show you the Brentford fixtures coming up in a minute. But again, when we talk big chances, we're talking big circles. Now, Thomas Frank doesn't let his teams shoot much from outside the box. They get an absolute rollicking if they do that. 2 shots outside the box yesterday. Naughty. He doesn't like low XG chances. He likes them to build to big chances. And you can look at the box. How many shots they get from 10, 12 yards out every week without fail. Now, a few of these are goals. 16 shots, 4 goals. Big on set pieces as well, 1.4 XG from set pieces. When I get back to my team, think I'll be going Eze, Mateta out, Mbeumo and Visser in. Absolutely Mackham, and I like that very much. Those on free hit will be looking at Wolves in particular. But yeah, if you're looking longer term than that, then Brentford are a must buy. And I'll show you why in a second. This is how they're lining up at the minute. Coyote played right back, the Italian. He's back in the team. He's got the long throw option, which is quite dangerous. And Brentford loved that because they love their set pieces. Back 4 yesterday, with Keane Lewis Potter playing as a left back, not a wing back. And then the front 3 of Sharda, Visser and Mbeumo doesn't really change. And then Damsgaard pulling the strings. But what we saw yesterday, again positive, is Brian Mbeumo is the most advanced player on the pitch. So yes, he's not the number 9. He's the right winger, but it's a bit like Mo Salah or Bukayo Saka. When you look at a Saka or a Salah average position, yes, they're playing right of a front 3, but they're always more advanced than the number 9 on the left-hand side. And this is the case with Brian Mbeumo. He's always more advanced than that left-hand side. So guys, if you're interested in Mbeumo, he ain't going to be around. He's unlikely to be around next year. He's going to end his Brentford career on a high. He's playing for a move, I think. But regardless, he's a top quality FPL asset. Corners, free kicks, penalties, open play chances, a team that produce big chances, and a team with good fixtures. I'm not going to review Brighton too much because I don't think many are buying Brighton players. Just remember, João Pedro now is suspended for 3 games. He came in from Matoma. Weird decision there to play João Pedro on the left. Matoma benched, came on and got the goal. And Matt O'Reilly back fit. He does like O'Reilly as his 10. I like O'Reilly for next year, by the way. I think he's a brilliant player. Let's have a look though at Mbeumo in a bit more detail on those Brentford fixtures, because the biggest BPS machine yesterday, Mbeumo. Unsurprising, 86 in the BPS. Watkins next, and then Visser as well. So when we look at big chances and chance creation, Visser and Mbeumo are massively benefiting. And yesterday the fixture was good, but they've got better fixtures coming up than Brighton at home. So when we look at the total shots, Visser 4 shots, and Mbeumo 4 shots, 3 of them on target for Visser. Annoying Rodgers owners 4 shots as well. But then when we look at chances created, Mbeumo top of the charts. So Mbeumo is joint top for shots, joint top for chances created. Visser's up there as well for shots. So much to love. And Mbeumo's been playing well for several seasons, but no, Tony Means is even more prolific. I've got to play Minter 34. Minter actually, yeah. Minter's a funny one. He's got bags of potential. This is where we're at with Brentford moving forward. I'd like to just put your attention to Brentford, who are halfway up, bottom, 2/3 of the way down. Nottingham Forest in 34 doesn't look like a good fixture. Look, it's not. Going to the City Ground is tough. So the entry point isn't amazing for those buying in 34, but it's a fixture. And Mbeumo away from home is always dangerous. Man United at home is a cracking fixture. Now, that game week 35 fixture comes either side, I think, of Man United's Europa League games. So entry point as 35 is amazing from Mbeumo. There's going to be a lot selling Bukayo Saka in 35, who I don't think will start. go into Mbeumo. But Mbeumo and Wissa would be a lovely double up for Man United. Hope you're enjoying your morning, guys. Teas and coffees at the ready. After that, though, it's Ipswich. Hello, game week 36. I don't care, you ain't got a double, it's Ipswich. And then for the run-in, the final two games, Fulham, who could be on the beach, and Wolves. Now, remember, Brentford are playing for European football next season. It would be huge. With no disrespect, a team like Brentford, who were in the Championship not so long ago, getting European football is absolutely gigantic for Thomas Frank's team. Now, they have so much to play for, and that is who we should be investing our energy and time in when we're talking FPL assets for the run-in. Teams chasing Champions League, teams chasing Europa League. Right? The relegation scrap's kind of done. There's a lot of teams that will be on the beach in a couple of weeks or seen as beach teams with nothing to play for. Teams like Brentford, teams like Aston Villa, Newcastle, Chelsea, Man City, Nottingham Forest, like these are the teams to be going after. Everton do have good fixtures. Now, Everton aren't going to be allowed to be on the beach because it's the farewell of Goodison Park. So Everton are, again, Ipswich, Fulham, Southampton. You know, those home games especially. That last home game at Goodison Park, game week 37, is surely going to have goals. Sorry, itchy nose. So that's where we're at with Brentford. I like Brentford very much, and I'm definitely going double Brentford. Probably not triple because I don't like their defence, but double Brentford attack on wildcard. So now let's move on to another fixture, shall we? Remember, we're going game by game. Comment on that team when we're there. We'll talk Saka later as well when we look ahead to the games coming up today. So just before we move on, I would love to give a little shout out to supporting the channel. If anybody wants to put any comments in the chat that I can flash up as to why any newbies watching should subscribe, I'd really value that. So for my chasers out there or anyone, if you want to give a nod as to why you might want to subscribe to this channel, that'd be awesome. I will have plenty of content out this week, including a free hit draft, including a wild card video, because I am on wild cards. That'll be my team selection video. But I do these Sunday streams every week, and hopefully you enjoy the Sunday debriefs, whether you're watching on catch up or live. And at times I do deadline streams as well on a Saturday. So thanks as always for your support. I look forward to doing more content in the next couple of weeks. It's an important time of the season, and yeah, I appreciate you guys as always. Now I want to move on with the game. So we've got to talk Aston Villa and we've got to talk Newcastle, because that was a big FPL game last night. Because so many have Aston Villa and Newcastle players, don't they? Like many of us have a triple up on Newcastle already, plus maybe a Rodgers or a Rashford or a Watkins. Now we did see Ollie Watkins get the start yesterday, which was well deserved. He's feeling pretty sore, Ollie Watkins. To not make it into the 11 for the PSG games is pretty hard for him. He's been their talisman and their best player for a long time. We'll talk Tielemans in a second when I show you the average position. And Watkins at 11% EO, yeah, it does feel like cheating. Fair enough. So Aston Villa deserved the win. 1.1 XG for Newcastle, nearly 3 for Villa. Throughout the football match, especially the second half, Villa created lots of chances. Small chances, big chances. Rodgers should have scored. Watkins hit the woodwork twice. He was absolutely out to prove a point. So the pass map here, the average position map, is really interesting because, oh, by the way, look at the amount of shots in the box. 23 shots, a lot of little chances. Tielemans has been outstanding. Tielemans playing slightly higher up. Tielemans has been Villa's player of the season is a hard one. Rodgers, Tielemans, Luca Dean at the start of the season, not so much now. Yeah, they've been amazing. Villa have been great. All these content creators convince us Watkins won't play. Well, look, all I'm saying, if you watch my show, my one of my 2 videos last week, one of my 2 videos was a free hit team. I wasn't on free hit. I put together a Gameweek 33 free hit video. And if you watch that video, you will see I went with Ollie Watkins in that team. I wasn't sure he'd get 2 starts, but I went Watkins, Rashford and Rodgers because I just said it's worth investing in the attack because the attack's really good. The attack's just produced 23 shots versus Newcastle. The reason I knew the attack was really good is because I look at the information like this every week. The Aston Villa defence is not one I trust. I said, in fact, don't buy Konza. Don't buy a Villa defender. They ain't going to keep a clean sheet. They will score goals. which is why I went Ollie Watkins. So yeah, just highlighting that. I also went Rashford, but look, Rashford was cheap and was worth the gamble, and I knew I'd get the number 9 either way, and I expect Watkins to play next week. On Tuesday or Wednesday. Let's look at that team selection then. Firstly, let me just point your attention to the back. Pau Torres picked up a knock, and Dean didn't start. He went with Maatsen, who played so well. Brilliant goal for Maatsen. I mean, he was at fault in a way for the Shah header. He's not the best defensively, but going forward, he is fun, and boy, will they use him down the left, just like they use Luca Dean. Rodgers and Tielemans are the two that play every game. We absolutely know that. And Ollie Watkins, number 9. That's what we want to see. Ollie Watkins, number 9. Rodgers central. They're fun. They use the left-hand side. But look at that left-hand side. Most passes, most XG chain, most progressive passing. Yuri Tielemans. He's the key cog. He's the big bubble. He's the main man. Is he an FPL option? We know he's like 3rd in line for penalties. 2nd to 3rd in line for penalties. He's all right as an FPL option. I don't see him as a hard buy. I still prefer Rodgers. I'm just going to leave it there. Dean has not played football anymore. Yeah, he's so good at the start of the season. Being a Villa fan, it's fun for once. Yeah, absolutely, Andy. Like, you're smashing it. I fancy you for Champions League spot for sure. Let's move on to Newcastle. I think a lot are looking to sell Newcastle players. You'll have them on free hit for Ipswich, but then from 35, the fixture run's tough, and maybe they're looking a bit tired. Jacob Murphy ain't going to be a bad FPL option overnight, though. I still think he's a good buy for those on wildcard. And then, yeah, Livramento used a lot down the left, really advanced. Dan Burn with the own goal out, and Livramento, Dan Burn -2, Livramento 0. Yeah. The problem with Dean is he's just not nailed. There will be rotation at left back. And the way Maatsen played yesterday, and look how much they used him, he played really well. Cracking goal. Livramento always looks attacking. He's great. Livramento, randomly, looks better as a left back than a right back. He's right-footed. He always looks great down the left. Okay, let's move on to Crystal Palace, Bournemouth. What a bore fest. What a snooze fest. Palace going down to 10 men made this game even more boring, but not a single XG clocked per team. Only 1/3 of an XG for Palace and 2/3 for Bournemouth. There's not much to see here. We can start to sell our Palace players, guys. I don't know if we want to invest in Bournemouth. Look, not a single big chance. Remember, the big chances are the big circles. If you're listening on podcasts, by the way, I must stress, if there's ever a show on YouTube on my channel to watch, not listen to, it's this one. Because this show is full of the visual stuff. But if you do want to, or podcasts are your thing, just search Gianni Battici in iTunes or Spotify, and you can follow and download my pods. Everything I do on YouTube goes onto podcast platform. So yeah, go check that out. Munoz was my only Palace player on free hit. There you go. Yeah, I actually didn't go with any Palace on free hit. Didn't like it. Munoz, Hoyson and Kenson all clean. Yeah, and that's where the bonus points went, didn't they? I think Hoyson maybe got 3 bonus. Henderson maybe got a bonus or 2. Both teams on the beach early. Well, look, European football is a possibility still for both these teams, but yeah. Crystal Palace, by the way, same every week. Daniel Munoz, best FPL asset in the team. Say every week. Do they rotate massively against Arsenal in the week? I'm not sure. I think they do, because the FA Cup semi for Palace is on the Saturday. The Saturday semi-final means I think they have to rotate versus Arsenal and just take the loss. Play players like Franca and Nketiah, you know? That's why I sold Ismail Sarr. I don't know if he starts. I think Eze probably does play game 2, yeah. The fact he came off early yesterday, I thought was telling. Bournemouth, neat and tidy. A lot of passing out the back. Look at that. No passing into the centre mid. Like, you're like, oh, you're just going to go around the edges, are you? And again, that's probably part of their tactic. When Palace went down to 10 men, it was, how can we overload them on each side? How can we really make them work? Play wide, drag Palace out, and then hopefully create spaces. 10 versus 11. I don't think it really worked for them, but that was clearly a tactic by Bournemouth. I don't mind Bournemouth for the run-in, I must say. part of the attraction with Bournemouth, and I just want to highlight their fixtures, they're a third of the way down. Yes, it's Man United and Arsenal, but they do have a good chance of a double game week. And then it's Leicester on the final day. I like that very much. Leicester at home, if European spots are still up for grabs. Don't hate them. Don't hate Bournemouth. Yeah, they have dropped in form. Look, they won last time out, but before that, they went like 5-6 games without winning. Eze, I still think will start versus Arsenal, though. West Ham, Southampton. Again, we're not really buying assets from these two teams. Would we consider West Ham players on wildcard? I'm on wildcard. I'll probably go Areola. I might go Areola. Brighton, Spurs. And by the way, Areola was on for a 10-pointer yesterday. Conceded late. He went down to a 3-pointer. Tough for those on bench boost that had Areola. But you look at the XG plot. Southampton, goodish value for their goal. A draw was the fair result here. 0.97 versus 0.98. Nothing could ooze more towards this, suggesting it was a 1-1 draw. Jarrod Bowen is an interesting player for those on wildcard. It's Brighton and Tottenham, who are two defences on the ropes. Then Man United, again, really vulnerable defensively, Man United. Forest and then Ipswich. Jarrod Bowen's really, really interesting for me on wildcard. Given the choice, and Mbeumo's the better option. And Mbeumo's definitely the better option. But Bowen is great. And Bowen is, again, the big chance hog in this team. So when we talk Jarrod Bowen, let's see how he lined up, because the news yesterday where Bowen wasn't playing number 9, some were annoyed by that. Now, if you bought Bowen, you might have gone, I want him to play number 9. No, I think Fulkrug is good for Jarrod Bowen. And this is how they set up yesterday. They played Fulkrug and Jarrod Bowen and Kudus as a front three. Fulkrug had played well. He got the assist. I think he forced a good save out of Ramsdale early on. West Ham are interesting for Jarrod Bowen and probably Jarrod Bowen only. If you told me Fulkrug was going to start every game, I'd also be tempted on Fulkrug because he's cheap. And Fulkrug, by the way, hasn't had a look in. I think the way he played yesterday means he may have played himself in. Remember, Ferguson's an option, but he was injured. He was sorry. I saw him red flagged. Ferguson can't play next week because he's eligible to play against his club. He's a Brighton player, right? And they've got Brighton. He did get 4 minutes yesterday. Meh. Fulkrug, on the other hand, 6.7 million. He doesn't come cheap. If he's starting number 9, he has been getting the minutes of late. And I thought he played really well against Southampton, right? So Fulkrug with 79 minutes yesterday. Against Liverpool, he played 12, Bournemouth 36, Wolves 45. But at least he's getting the minutes. For those on wildcard, he could be a punt. But look, Bowen is the obvious. The problem with Bowen is it's a midfield spot. Maybe that matters. But look, Bowen, only 8% owned. When he scores goals, Jarrod Bowen, he usually gets the bonus points as well. And again, yesterday, picked up a bonus point, got a goal. 9-pointer. Happy days. Got the clean sheet. Got the clean sheet point because he went off early, Why did Bowen go off with 5 minutes to go? You need to check that out. That's a bit weird. Potter took over West Ham. We're 14th now. Look where they are. No improvement. Not really. I agree. West Ham have been a bit of a non-event. Listening whilst on my way to golf this morning on a 1,000 placed arrow. Oh, Sav. I've done a poll, green or red, and I shouldn't indulge that conversation. The mid-game week ranks have never been so non-important this game week because there's so much football to be played with the doublers. And you're comparing yourself with red and green arrows with managers that some of which aren't engaged managers that will have 3 double game weekers when you've got 9 double game weekers. Like genuinely, you'll see the big games on Tuesday, Wednesday, everyone. I don't see Bowen as a free hit option. Too much competition for midfield spots. Fair. I mean, I'm on wildcard, so it's slightly different. I'm with you. I don't know if I go Bowen on free hit, but I think I'm more likely to go with Bowen on wildcard, right? Because the fixtures are good. We've just looked at those fixtures for West Ham. And it is just targeting bad defences. Now, if I was to tell you any good midfielder in the game that clocks Jarrod Bowen numbers has Brighton, bad defence, Tottenham, bad defence, Man United, bad defence, Forest, good defence, Ipswich, bad defence. That's 4 of the next 5 fixtures versus very bad defences. That's why Fulkrug is actually not a bad punt, like an interesting punt. But Bowen, of course, is the main man. So there we have Jarrod Bowen. fixtures today. Where are we all at? Good morning, Heather. Loads of tuning in slightly later. Completely understand. I'm doing these early streams so I can get out and enjoy my Sundays. But you will see this week from me a free hit team very, very soon. I'll put together a free hit team. I will also put together my wildcard team. Both those things. So do not miss my video content this week. I'll probably have a video dropping in the morning. So stay tuned for that, if not Tuesday. But guys, when you hit that subscribe button, also hit the bell. Hit the alerts button, so then whenever my videos are out, if you want to see my free hit team and wildcard team, you'll get a notification. So do consider hitting the notification bell when you subscribe. And thank you all for liking. I want to just give a nod to today's fixtures. How are we expecting them to go? Ignore the 3 o'clock time. That's me screen grabbing it in Italy. It's 2 o'clock UK time, 4:30 UK time for Leicester Liverpool. I think the Sky games are Leicester Liverpool, maybe Arsenal Ipswich. I'm not sure. How am I feeling about them? Hoping Palmer doesn't sting me and Chelsea still win. Saka's EO is around 100%. I didn't cap him. Fine. I think it's slightly under that. I think it's about 80-90% of my rank. Mo Salah's over 100% EOs. Hope it doesn't do too much damage for those that didn't cap him. I think Wolves beat Man United. There we go. Guys, thank you so much for all your chat. Really enjoyed the stream this morning. I look forward to seeing you all in the week for various pieces of content. And then next week, when's the deadline? We have a Saturday early morning deadline again. So I will be back probably with a deadline stream on Chasing Green Arrows on that Saturday morning. For Chelsea Everton is the early kickoff. And it is, of course, going to be a big week because so many will be on free hit. Guys, I look forward to chatting very, very soon. Thanks for all your support. Go back and watch the last 45 minutes if you're just tuning in. See you later. Bye-bye.